What if the one exercise you've been told is the fountain of youth is actually secretly speeding up your aging? What if that daily walk you're so proud of, the one you never miss, is quietly stealing your strength, balance, and independence without you even realizing it? This sounds impossible, doesn't it? After all, we've been told our entire lives that walking is the perfect exercise for older adults. It's safe, it's gentle, it's accessible. Doctors recommend it, health organizations promote it. And yes, walking does offer real benefits. But here's the uncomfortable truth that nobody wants to tell you. If you're over 71 and walking is the only exercise you're doing, you might be inadvertently accelerating certain aspects of your aging rather than slowing them down. Today, we're going to explore why walking alone isn't enough after a certain age, and more importantly, what you can do about it to truly maintain your strength, independence, and vitality as you age. Let me introduce you to Dorothy, a 73-year-old woman who was incredibly disciplined about her health. Every single morning, rain or shine, Dorothy walked for 45 minutes around her neighborhood. She'd been doing this faithfully for over a decade. She felt proud of her commitment and believed she was doing everything right to stay healthy. But over time, Dorothy started noticing troubling changes. She struggled to carry her groceries from the car. Opening jars became difficult. Getting up from a low chair required her to push off with her hands. She felt less steady on her feet, especially when she had to step over something or walk on uneven ground. One day, she tripped over a small rug in her home and barely caught herself. The near fall shook her confidence deeply. Dorothy couldn't understand what was happening. She was exercising every day. She was doing what all the experts recommended. How could she be getting weaker and less stable? The answer lies in understanding, something called the plateau effect. And it's our first critical point. When you first start walking regularly, your body responds beautifully. Your heart gets stronger, your endurance improves, your mood lifts. But here's what happens next. Your body is incredibly efficient and adapts quickly to whatever you do regularly. Once you've been walking the same route at the same pace for weeks or months, your body says, essentially, I've got this figured out. I don't need to get any stronger or fitter because I can already do this easily. This is the plateau effect. Your body stops improving because the activity no longer challenges it. And here's the concerning part. Once your body stops being challenged, it doesn't just stay at the same level. It actually starts to decline in the areas you're not using. Your muscles that aren't being worked begin to atrophy. Your bones that aren't being stressed begin to weaken. Your balance systems that aren't being challenged start to deteriorate. Think about it this way. If you only ever practiced writing your name, you'd get very good at writing your name. But your ability to write other words, to draw, to use your hand for other tasks would gradually decline because you're not practicing those skills. Your body works the same way. When you only walk, you get good at walking on flat, predictable surfaces at a steady pace. But all the other physical capabilities you need for daily life begin to fade. This brings us to our second critical issue. Walking alone doesn't maintain muscle mass or bone strength. After age 50, adults naturally lose about 1 to 2% of their muscle mass each year, a condition called sarcopenia. After 70, this loss can accelerate if you're not actively working to prevent it. Walking, unfortunately, doesn't provide enough stimulus to stop this muscle loss. Why? Because walking uses the same muscles in the same way, over and over, with relatively little resistance. Your muscles need to be challenged with progressive resistance, meaning gradually increasing difficulty, to maintain or build strength. They need to work harder than they're accustomed to. Walking on flat ground doesn't provide this challenge. The same is true for your bones. Bone is living tissue that responds to stress by becoming stronger and denser. But the stress has to be significant enough to trigger this response. Walking provides some benefits, but it's not enough to prevent the gradual bone loss that occurs with aging, especially for women after menopause. This is why osteoporosis, the weakening of bones that makes them fragile and prone to fractures, affects so many older adults despite their regular walking routines. When Dorothy finally consulted a physical therapist about her weakness, she learned that her leg muscles had actually lost significant strength despite her daily walks. The therapist explained that walking was maintaining her walking ability, but it wasn't maintaining her overall strength for other activities like lifting, pushing, pulling, or climbing stairs. Dorothy needed resistance training, exercises that challenged her muscles to work against weight or resistance. The therapist started Dorothy on simple exercises using resistance bands and light weights. Within just 6 weeks, Dorothy noticed dramatic improvements. She could carry her groceries easily again. Jar lids opened without struggle. Getting up from chairs felt effortless. She hadn't realized how much strength she'd lost until she got it back. This leads us to our third issue. Walking doesn't train your balance and agility. Falls are one of the most serious threats to independence in older adults. 1 in 4 adults over 65 falls each year, and falls are the leading cause of injury-related deaths in this age group. But here's what many people don't realize. Your risk of falling isn't primarily about weak legs. It's about balance, coordination, and your nervous system's ability to react quickly when you stumble. When you walk on smooth, flat, predictable surfaces like sidewalks or tracks, your balance system isn't being challenged. You're not training your body to respond to unexpected situations. You're not practicing the quick adjustments and reactions you need when you step on an uneven surface, when someone bumps into you, or when you have to step over an obstacle. Balance is a complex skill involving your inner ear, your vision, sensors in your muscles and joints, and your brain's ability to process all this information and respond instantly. Like any skill, if you don't practice it, you lose it. Walking the same flat route every day doesn't practice balance. It lets your balance skills gradually deteriorate. What does practice balance? Standing on one foot, walking heel to toe in a straight line, standing on an unstable surface like a cushion. Tai Chi, yoga, dancing, activities that require you to shift your weight, move in different directions, challenge your stability. These activities train your nervous system to keep you upright and safe. Dorothy's physical therapist added balance exercises to her routine. Simple things like standing on one foot while brushing her teeth, walking backward for short distances, and practicing stepping over objects. These exercises felt awkward at first, even scary. But within a few weeks, Dorothy felt noticeably steadier. Her confidence returned. She no longer feared falling, which meant she stopped limiting her activities out of fear. Our fourth issue is that steady-paced walking doesn't adequately challenge your cardiovascular system or your brain. Now, walking does provide cardiovascular benefits, especially if you've been sedentary. But for lasting cardiovascular health, your heart needs to be challenged with varying intensities. It needs to work harder sometimes, recover, then work hard again. This kind of interval training, where you alternate between higher and lower intensities, is far more effective at improving cardiovascular fitness than steady-paced walking. It strengthens your heart, improves your circulation, helps control blood pressure and blood sugar, and even promotes better brain health by increasing blood flow to your brain. Your brain also benefits enormously from activities that require coordination, learning new patterns, and making quick decisions. When you walk the same familiar route at the same steady pace, your brain is essentially on autopilot. You're not challenging it to learn, adapt, or problem solve. Activities like dancing, playing pickleball, or even just varying your walking route and pace challenge your brain to stay engaged and sharp. Research shows that physical activities requiring coordination and quick thinking, not just repetitive movement, are particularly protective against cognitive decline. They stimulate the growth of new brain cells and new connections between brain cells, a process called neuroplasticity. Walking alone doesn't provide enough of this cognitive challenge. The fifth and final issue is one that often goes overlooked: social isolation and limited emotional engagement. If you're walking alone every day, you're missing out on the profound health benefits of social connection. Loneliness and social isolation are as harmful to your health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. They increase your risk of heart disease, depression, cognitive decline, and even early death. Group exercise activities provide not just physical benefits but crucial social and emotional benefits. When you take a class, join a walking group, or exercise with friends, you're laughing, talking, encouraging each other, building relationships. These social connections give you reasons to show up. They make exercise enjoyable rather than a chore, and they provide emotional support that protects your mental health. Dorothy eventually joined a senior fitness class at her local community center. She was nervous at first, worried she wouldn't be able to keep up. But she discovered a welcoming group of people her age, all working to stay strong and healthy. She made friends. She looked forward to class 3 times a week. The social connection became just as valuable as the physical exercise. The class included a variety of activities: strength training with light weights and resistance bands, balance exercises, stretching for flexibility, and some cardiovascular work. This variety addressed all the gaps that walking alone had left in Dorothy's fitness. Within 3 months, Dorothy felt stronger, steadier, and happier than she had in years. She still took walks, but now they were part of a complete fitness routine, not her only form of exercise. So what does all of this mean for you? It means that if you're over 70 and walking is your only exercise, you need to add variety and challenge to your routine. You need activities that build and maintain muscle strength. You need exercises that challenge your balance and coordination. You need some higher intensity cardiovascular work, even if it's just short bursts. And you need social engagement and activities that stimulate your brain. Let me be very clear about something. I'm not saying walking is bad. Walking is wonderful. It's accessible, low impact, and provides real benefits. Keep walking. Enjoy your walks. But don't let walking be your only form of exercise, because it's simply not enough to maintain all the physical capabilities you need to stay independent, healthy, and vibrant as you age. What should you add? Start with strength training twice a week. This doesn't mean you need to join a gym or lift heavy barbells. You can start with simple exercises using your own body weight, like chair squats, wall push-ups, and standing leg lifts. You can use resistance bands, which are inexpensive and easy to use at home. You can use light dumbbells or even cans of soup or water bottles. The key is challenging your muscles to work harder than they do during normal daily activities. Add balance exercises to your daily routine. Stand on one foot while you're waiting for your coffee to brew. Walk heel to toe down your hallway. Practice standing up from a chair without using your hands. These simple exercises take just a few minutes, but make a huge difference in your stability and confidence. Include some variety in your cardiovascular exercise. During your walks, try adding short bursts of faster walking, just 30 seconds to a minute, then return to your normal pace. Walk up hills or stairs when possible. Try different activities like swimming, cycling, or dancing. The variety challenges your heart and your brain in different ways. And seek out social exercise opportunities. Join a class at your local senior centre, YMCA, or community centre. Many offer classes specifically designed for older adults. Find a walking group if you prefer outdoor exercise. Take a Tai Chi or yoga class. The social, connection and group support will enhance both your physical and emotional well-being. Let me share one more story. James, a 75-year-old retired teacher, had been a dedicated walker for years. He walked 5 miles every single day and felt proud of his commitment. But when his daughter visited and watched him struggle to lift his suitcase, she became concerned. She convinced him to see a trainer who specialized in working with older adults. The trainer assessed James and found that despite his excellent cardiovascular endurance from all that walking, he had surprisingly weak upper body strength and poor flexibility. His balance was also compromised, though he hadn't realized it because he'd unconsciously started avoiding situations that challenged his balance. James was skeptical about changing his routine. He loved his daily walks and didn't want to give them up. The trainer assured him he didn't have to. Instead, they created a plan where James walked 4 days a week and spent 2 days doing strength and balance training. On his walking days, he incorporated some faster intervals and occasionally chose routes with hills. James started slowly with the strength training, feeling awkward and weak at first. But within a month, he noticed changes. He could carry things more easily. His posture improved. He felt more energetic. After 2 months, his balance had improved so much that he felt comfortable trying activities he'd been avoiding, like hiking on trails instead of just sidewalks. The most surprising change was how much James enjoyed the variety. His daily walks had become monotonous, though he hadn't admitted it. The new routine kept things interesting and challenging. He felt engaged and motivated in a way he hadn't felt in years. And when he saw how much stronger and more capable he'd become in just a few months, he wondered why he'd waited so long to add variety to his exercise routine. Here's the truth that might be hard to hear, but that you need to know. Your body is changing as you age. That's natural and inevitable. But the rate at which it changes, the capabilities you maintain, and the independence you preserve are largely within your control. What you do today, the choices you make about how you move and challenge your body, directly determines your physical function and quality of life in the years ahead. Walking alone lets certain critical capacities decline silently. You don't notice the muscle loss until you can't lift something you used to lift easily. You don't notice the balance deterioration until you have a close call with falling. You don't notice the bone weakening until a minor bump results in a fracture. By the time these declines become obvious, you've lost ground that's much harder to regain. But the wonderful news is that your body is remarkably responsive at any age. Studies show that even people in their 80s and 90s can build muscle strength, improve balance, and enhance their physical function with appropriate exercise. It's never too late to start. The improvements can be dramatic and can happen relatively quickly. You don't need expensive equipment or gym memberships. You don't need to spend hours exercising every day. What you need is consistency and variety. 30 minutes of varied activity most days of the week, including strength training twice a week and balance exercises daily, can transform your physical capabilities and your confidence. Think about what you want your life to look like in 5 or 10 years. Do you want to be able to play with your grandchildren, travel, garden, maintain your own home, do the activities you love? All of these things require strength, balance, flexibility, and endurance. Walking alone won't maintain these capabilities. A varied, balanced exercise routine will. Your independence, your safety, your ability to do what you want to do, these are precious and worth protecting. Don't let them slip away simply because you're relying on walking as your only form of exercise. Expand your routine. Challenge your body in different ways. Engage your brain with new movement patterns. Connect with others through group activities. The time to start is now. Not next week, not next month, right now. Every day that passes is a day your muscles, bones, and balance could be declining if they're not being properly challenged. But every day is also an opportunity to make your body stronger, steadier, and more capable. Start small if you need to. Add just 1 or 2 strength exercises to your routine this week. Practice standing on one foot for a few seconds each day. Take one group fitness class. Walk up a hill instead of on flat ground. These small changes accumulate into significant improvements in your strength, balance, and overall fitness. Your body is capable of far more than you might think at this stage of your life. Don't sell yourself short by doing the minimum. Challenge yourself, surprise yourself with what you can still do and what you can improve. The vitality, independence, and confidence you want are absolutely within your reach, but you have to reach for them actively. Remember Dorothy and James. They're real people who discovered that adding variety and challenge to their routines transformed not just their physical capabilities, but their entire quality of life. They felt younger, stronger, more confident, and happier. You can experience these same transformations. You deserve to experience them. If you found this information eye-opening and helpful, please subscribe to our channel and hit that like button to support more content for seniors. Don't forget to click the notification bell so you never miss our practical health tips. Share this video with friends who need to hear this message today. Your strength, your balance, your independence, these are worth fighting for. Don't let walking alone lull you into thinking you're doing enough. Expand your horizons. Challenge your body. Engage with others. And watch as your capabilities grow rather than shrink. Thank you for watching, and here's to your strength, vitality, and independence at every age.